Are you planning to visit Rome in October? You're going to want to know what the weather's like, what to pack and how to dress, things to do, what's happening, and what you can expect. If you're new here, my name's Alyssa. I've lived in Rome since 2001. I'm married to a Roman, and I love Rome. I've spent decades getting to know Rome inside and out. And on this channel, I love to share with you my knowledge of and love for Rome, and I hope to help you have your best visit here. October is one of the most beautiful times of year in Rome. The weather is mostly warm during the day and comfortably cool in the evenings. We usually don't get too much rain in October, although we do sometimes have scattered showers. October is a month where the weather can vary quite a bit from the beginning to the end of the month. In the beginning of October, we're still pretty close to the summery warm temperatures of September. Days can be really warm, even warm enough to go to the beach. By the end of October, the temperatures are dropping just a bit, but I find that the month of October never feels fully like a really crisp fall month. In fact, speaking about the weather, something that October is famous for, at least among the Romans, is a phenomenon we call the Ottobrata Romana. Ottobrata comes from October, Romana means Roman, and this is all about this beautiful, warm, pleasant weather we get this month. But it also refers to the stunning sunsets that we seem to have only this month in Rome. You know, in summer we don't really get these dramatic sunsets, and even in September they're beautiful, but nothing compares to the sunsets we have in October in Rome. So be prepared with your camera and don't forget to look up. So what should you pack and how should you dress when you visit Rome in October? The great news is the weather in Rome in October is nearly perfect. It's warm enough during the day that you can often wear short sleeves, but not so hot that you're going to be sweaty or that you need to wear tank tops. In the evenings, it's pleasant to be outside. You might just want a cardigan or a light jacket, but all of the restaurants that have outdoor seating are going to be packed. All of the rooftop bars are going to be packed. It's just beautiful. If you're coming to Rome at the beginning of October, you may want to bring some long shorts, capri pants, some skirts or dresses, but really for most of October, jeans, cotton pants, and long skirts or dresses are perfect. At the beginning of the month, you're definitely going to want to bring some short sleeve shirts like t-shirts. Towards the end of the month, you might want something a little warmer like a Henley. For most of October, I suggest packing a light cardigan and a light jacket. This will mostly be for the late afternoons and evenings. Also, don't forget to bring a scarf. And of course, if you didn't bring one, Rome is a great place to buy one. I talk about this in pretty much every video about what to wear in Rome. A scarf is always a great accessory to have. In October, you don't really need it to cover your shoulders as much as you do in the hot summer months, but it's the perfect accessory to warm you up when the temperatures drop just a little bit in the late afternoons and evenings. As I said, October is really not the month to be wearing boots, heavy winter coats, heavy scarves, gloves, or hats. Especially in the beginning of October, but even towards the end, October is always much warmer than most people think it will be. So the best thing you can do is layer. As I mentioned, we don't get a lot of rain in October, but you might want to bring a light waterproof shell. As for shoes, as I say in all of my videos about what to pack and what to wear when you visit Rome, you should bring the most comfortable walking shoes you have. Hopefully these are shoes you've already broken in. At the beginning of October, you may be able to wear sandals, but for the most part, I would bring closed-toed walking shoes. I've got a page on the RomeWise website called Packing for Rome in October, so you can see all my best suggestions there. I also include that in my ebook, Rome in October, which I'm linking to in the description below. In my ebook, Rome in October, I talk about everything that I've mentioned in this video and more. I also include a 3-day itinerary that's tailored to fall. You might also want to check out my video about what to pack for visiting Rome in autumn. One of my best suggestions for where to stay when you visit Rome in October is the Aventine Hill. Because Rome is so crowded and busy in October, yes, it is. I'm going to talk about that in just a moment. The Aventine Hill offers a peaceful yet central location that's just enough away from the main tourist areas. Despite its tranquil atmosphere, the Aventine Hill is still within walking distance to some of Rome's most famous ancient sites. You're just minutes on foot from the Circus Maximus, the Palatine Hill, and the Colosseum. Not to mention the fact that there's a lot to see and do in the Aventine Hill itself. And you'd be right next door to Testaccio, one of Rome's most authentic local neighborhoods. And thanks to 2 metro stops nearby and our extensive bus system, you can easily reach the other parts of Rome that you want to visit. So what can you expect when you visit Rome in October? You may be surprised to learn that October is one of the busiest times of year in Rome. We ran a bed and breakfast in Rome for 17 years. I've been writing the RomeWise website since 2009 and publishing videos on this channel since 2016. And no matter what, people always argue with me about this. Why is October peak season? I thought it was shoulder season. Well, I've just been telling you how beautiful it is this time of year. The days are long and sunny, we don't get too much rain, it's not too hot to go sightseeing, it's comfortable to walk around all day. It seems like all the museums have their exhibits on, the Rome Film Festival is held every year this month, and it's the fall harvest season, which means this is a great time to combine your trip to Rome to someplace in the countryside, like Tuscany, Umbria, or even Lazio. The bottom line is that people who are not tied to a school calendar and who can choose when to travel often choose to travel in fall because of the beautiful weather. And this makes it peak season for Italy's art cities, which includes, of course, Rome, Florence, and Venice. Towards the end of October, beginning of November, you may find that the crowds dissipate just a little bit, but I wouldn't count on it. What this means is that you really need to consider pre-booking things that matter to you. And by this I mean any sites that you want to visit, specifically the Vatican museums and the Colosseum, plus any restaurants that you really want to try. Most people visiting Rome for the first time want to visit the Vatican museums where the Sistine Chapel is, and they also want to visit the Colosseum. So these are two sites I suggest booking in advance. At both of these sites, you can show up for same-day purchase, but at the Vatican museums, you will encounter incredibly long lines. And at the Colosseum, while you can purchase same-day tickets, I recommend booking these in advance, even a day or two in advance. First of all, if you want anything other than a standard entry ticket, you're definitely going to need to book that in advance. I have a whole video all about Colosseum tickets, what the different kinds are, and how to book them, so you can check that out for more information. But as I said, you can book tickets for a same-day visit, but you're going to be restricted to what they have available. The Colosseum has a limit of 3,000 visitors inside the monument at any given time, so they actually do run out of tickets. So if you show up in October for same-day tickets at, say, 9 o'clock in the morning, you may be told that the only tickets available for that day are for 2 p.m. But if you book even a day or two in advance, you'll find a bit more availability. And if you book your Colosseum tickets directly on the official Colosseum website, there is no ticketing fee, so you have nothing to lose by booking them in advance. But don't worry, if you show up to Rome and you didn't book anything and you're finding that everything is sold out, you can try booking on third-party websites. I've said this before and I'll say it again, there's nothing wrong with third-party sites. Yes, you're going to pay more than if you book on the official site, but often it's a way to find availability when you can't find availability on the official sites. And while you can book tours through the Colosseum website and the Vatican Museum's website, these tours are somewhat limited in scope. For example, the Vatican Museums offers tours of the Vatican Museums, but they're pretty large groups. Also, these tours cannot take you into St. Peter's Basilica. So if you want a tour that includes St. Peter's Basilica, you're going to have to book through a third party. And where the Colosseum is concerned, they just offer sort of large group tours of the Colosseum, but it doesn't include the Roman Forum and Palatine Hill. So if you're looking for a smaller group size, or you want a more complete tour that includes the Roman Forum and Palatine Hill in your Colosseum tour, then you're going to have to book through a third party. One way to use a third-party site to your advantage is to use an umbrella site like Get Your Guide or Viator. In October, when everything is so busy and a lot of things are sold out, using an umbrella site allows you to see what's available for a specific date. Let's say you didn't plan ahead and you've arrived in Rome and you're finding that everything is sold out and packed. With a site like Get Your Guide, you can put in filters such as the date and the kind of tour you're looking for. Then you can see what's available for the date you're visiting and the kind of tour you want, and you can compare different tours side by side. Another site you will want to book in advance if you want to visit it is the Galleria Borghese, or the Borghese Museum. A lot of you asked me about booking the Pantheon. You really don't need to book this in advance. You can just show up for a same-day visit and you can buy tickets on site. Yes, there will be long lines in October, so if you want to avoid those lines, you can book in advance. But if you didn't, you can just stand in the cash line, which moves faster than the credit card line. Other things to consider booking in advance, because it is such high season, include the papal audience and the Domus Aurea. And where restaurants are concerned, this is a point of contention. I know many of you say that you don't really want to be tied to any restaurant reservations and you'll just find some place to eat when you're hungry and ready to eat. And yes, in Rome you will always find something to eat, but the good restaurants, the places that have been recommended to you, the places that I recommend on my site, they are going to be fully booked. So if there's any place that you really want to eat, some place that you've seen or read about, some place that's on your list, I do suggest booking this in advance. Usually you can book a few days in advance. For some restaurants, you have to book a little further in advance. I have a page on the RomeWise website about what to book in advance in Rome, so you can check that out to see all the things you should book in advance and when to book them. But the bottom line is, in October, anything you really want to do, book it in advance. As for holidays and events in Rome in October, there are a few dates that you need to know about. As I mentioned earlier, typically the Rome Film Festival is held in October. The dates differ every year, but usually it's towards the second half of the month. Obviously, October 31st is Halloween, and while this didn't really used to be a big deal here in Rome, it's starting to be celebrated more than it used to. In Italy, November 1st and November 2nd are more important dates, especially on the Catholic calendar. November 1st is All Saints' Day, November 2nd is All Souls' Day, and these are dates that people tend to visit cemeteries and visit their loved ones. And October 31st, All Hallows' Eve, it does tie into that. But for the most part, the most that you'll really notice about Halloween is just that you'll see decorations in shop windows. In Italy and the rest of Europe, daylight saving time ends and we change our clocks back by 1 hour on the last weekend of October. One of my favorite things about Rome in October is the Rosetto Rose Garden reopening for a couple of weeks when the roses are in their second bloom. The dates change a little bit each year, but it's usually around the first and second week of October. On the RomeWise website, we have a page called Events in Rome in October. There you'll find lots of up-to-date information, including about the events I just told you about, any strikes that might be happening, and any special exhibits or events happening this month. We also list current concerts and shows, so you can find everything you need to know about what's happening in Rome in October on that page, and I'm linking to it in the description below. Finally, some other great things happening in Rome in October are the free dates. On the first Sunday in Rome in October, state-run sites and museums are free for everyone. And in Rome, we are lucky because civic museums are also free for everyone, not just residents. And on the last Sunday of October, the Vatican museums are open and free for everyone. Just note that hours are limited and it's first come, first serve. You can't book in advance. So what foods are in season in Rome in October? Well, it's harvest season and the markets are full of color. You'll find pumpkin, radicchio, persimmons, mushrooms, grapes, and other fall delicacies. This is the time of year when white truffles are in season. They have a very short window. They're only available from right about now through early December. You can only eat white truffles raw. Typically, they're eaten shaved over fresh pasta, and they are utterly delicious, at least for me. But they're also expensive. If they're not expensive, they're probably not authentic. I used to say that October is absolutely not the time for artichokes. They do not come into season until late November, but at this point, we're seeing artichokes year-round in Rome. So if you see artichokes in the menu in Rome in October, they're not from Rome or they're frozen, but they'll probably still be good. I think October is a great time of year to take a food tour because it's not too hot and you can try all of these yummy fall delicacies. And if you want to see my favorite food tour in Rome, check out my video right here.